When people ask me what it's like growing up in a family where you're the wrong daughter, I tell them it's like being the pineapple on an extra cheese pizza, unwanted, unappreciated, and unloved. And friends, in my story, I was that pineapple, a bit overweight pineapple. So a typical day in our house started like this. Amara, are you seriously eating a croissant this early in the morning? With my mother's angry gaze fixed on me, I quietly ate my croissant. Yes, Mom, I like having croissants in the morning. What's the problem with that? Mom pointed at my younger sister Bianca, who was perched delicately on the sofa with a plate of cucumber slices she'd been pushing around for 10 minutes. Look at your sister. She takes care of her figure. Keep this up and she'll be a famous model one day and make us rich. Bianca smirked. Yeah, Amara, ever tried eating cucumbers for a change? Ever tried minding your own business, dumbhead? Don't talk to her like that. She's got real potential. A face like hers belongs on billboards. And hers belongs on warning posters, right, Mom? Mom and Bianca burst out laughing while I kept on eating my croissants. That's how it was for every single day of my life until I turned 20. If Bianca forgot to do her chores, it was because she was busy practicing her runway walk. If I forgot, I'd turn into a lazy little bear. One time we went shopping for a relative's wedding, and Mom picked out a beautiful shimmery gold gown for Bianca. This would look perfect on you, sweetie. Bianca looked at the price tag and snorted. It's nice, but too cheap. I have a reputation, Mom. I want that red one. The red gown cost a little fortune, and I was sure Mom would refuse, as it was month end and we could barely afford groceries. But to my surprise, she agreed in a heartbeat. Anything is worth it for my beautiful daughter. In shock, I shook my head and reached for the dream I liked. Mom, can I try this one? Are you nuts? You'd stretch it out in one wear. Besides, this is too expensive. But this isn't even 1/10 of the price of Bianca's dress. How dare you compare yourself to her? She's gonna be famous one day and make us very rich, while you... Mom shot me a dirty look and handed me a dress on 80% discount. But it's 2 sizes small. It won't fit. If you skip a few dinners, it'll fit you. On the day of the wedding, I'd skipped plenty of dinners, but when I wriggled into the dress, the zipper stopped halfway. Mom, it's stuck. Mom walked in and yanked the zipper up with a grunt. See? Fits like a glove. Now suck in your tummy and walk out. We're getting late. When we arrived at the wedding, the only thing on my mind was whether the seams would hold. Every step felt like the dress was cutting into my ribs. At the buffet table, when I reached for a plate, Mom leaned in and hissed. Don't eat anything heavy, that dress will pop. So I just stood there, holding an empty plate as a group of relatives eyed me up and down. I even heard an old aunt whisper, "Poor thing, can't even breathe in that dress." And I thought, exactly. So friends, in this otherwise hopeless, sad life of mine, there was only one ray of sunshine, cooking. Cooking was my escape. I'd sneak into the kitchen at night, trying recipes from YouTube, lavender shortbread, mushroom risotto, strawberry souffle. Some recipes were magical. Others were, well, disasters. Just like the time the oven caught fire and Mom ran in, shouting like a madwoman. What the heck did you do this time? Please stop cooking. It's clear you can't do it. But Mom, I was trying out something new. It's called learning. It's called ruining everything. Just do me a favor and stick to instant noodles, okay? Despite Mom's skepticism, I was convinced that I'd be a great chef someday. It was my dream to get into Le Cordon Bleu, the top culinary school of our country. But when I told Mom about my plan, she and Bianca laughed like I'd cracked a joke. You seriously think I have that kind of money? FYI, Madam Marshmallow, Mom's saving for my career. I'm meeting a casting agent next month. So, Mom, there's nothing for me? Mom remained silent, but Bianca spoke up. Well, you could cook for me when I'm famous. I promise to pay you well.
I promise to pay you well. I promise to pay you well.
I didn't cry that night. I just decided if Mom wouldn't fund me, I'd fund myself. So I got a job at a local cafe. Washing dishes, wiping tables, cleaning grease traps that smelled like dead dreams. Every tip, every paycheck I got, I put into a shoebox under my bed. After almost a year of working my butt off, I counted the cash. It was enough to fund my dream of being a trained chef. My life was finally looking up and I was super excited. But a couple of days later, when I got back from work, I got the biggest shock of my life. My shoebox was gone! I tore through my room, going through every cupboard, every drawer, but nothing. That's when realization struck. Only one person could do this. I stormed into the living room and shouted, "Where's my money, Mom?" Mom didn't even look up from her magazine. What money? The shoebox under my bed! Every penny I saved! Mom finally put down that magazine and stared at me without an ounce of regret. I used it. You what? You heard her! Mom is sending me to Los Angeles. It's a big chance with an ad agency. I felt my throat close. Mom, I can't believe you stole from me. It's not stealing, Amara. It's called family sacrifice. You'll understand when you're older. Oh! I'm old enough to understand you don't give a damn about me. You never did. Sometimes I doubt if I'm your daughter. Suddenly, Mom's voice went icy. Stop being so melodramatic and look at the larger picture. Once your sister becomes a supermodel, you'll be famous and rich too. But I just stormed out of the room, tears stinging my eyes. That day, I decided I'd had enough. I quietly packed my bag and left behind the family that never cared about me. The next day, I was on a plane to Milan. My grandma lived there, and she loved me to bits, although Mom and Bianca hated her for some reason. Grandma welcomed me with open arms and said I could stay with her for as long as I wanted. But I didn't want to be a burden on her, so I started looking for jobs. Soon, a famous patisserie hired me as a cleaner. On my first day, I watched the pastry chefs pipe frosting onto eclairs like they were painting masterpieces, and I was awestruck. Day after day, I watched the chefs work and practiced whatever I learned back at my grandma's. Slowly, I was getting better and better at my craft. Then one afternoon, chaos struck. Our patisserie got an order for a 6-tier wedding cake for some famous celebrity. The head baker worked for hours, and the end result was practically flawless. We were all marveling at the stunning cake when suddenly one waiter tripped, sending a tray of glasses crashing right into it. The whole thing collapsed like a sugary avalanche. The head baker's face turned ashen gray, and then he fainted. The patisserie's owner, Kiara Evans, started hyperventilating and looked like she was about to collapse too. The wedding is in 3 hours. What am I gonna do? Before I could stop myself, I blurted, I can make another one. Kiara looked at me as if I'd gone crazy. You? Aren't you the dishwashing girl? I am, but I'm also a baker. Just give me 2 hours. I promise I won't disappoint you. Kiara hesitated for a moment, then barked, to the kitchen, now! The next 2 hours went by in a blur. I was whipping batter, layering sponge, tempering chocolate, decorating the cake with sugared roses. My hands flew like they'd been waiting for this moment my whole life. When I presented the cake, Kiara's eyes widened in disbelief. This isn't perfect, but it's close. Very, very close. She immediately ordered the delivery team to send the cake, and it reached its destination just in time. That evening, Kiara's phone rang non-stop. Everyone at the party loved the cake, and orders started pouring in like never before. A week later, Kiara called me into her office. You're no longer the dishwashing girl, Amara. From now on, you're my assistant pastry chef. The next 3 years, I worked tirelessly and rose up to the position of head chef. 5 years later, when I'd saved enough, I opened my first restaurant. It was the most exclusive in all of Milan and was frequented by the city's elite and celebrities from all over the world. Soon, I bought a penthouse in a posh neighborhood and moved out of my grandma's home. I begged her to come along, but she was too attached to her home, so I did the next best thing. I got her tiny cottage redone according to her taste and kept sending her checks every now and then. One evening, I was watching my favorite YouTube channel, I Told My Story, when guess who gave me a surprise visit? My mom and Bianca, and they looked wrecked. Their clothes were wrinkled, their hair a bit wild, and the smooth glow on Bianca's face was gone. Amara, my sweetheart, I missed you so much. Mom's voice was sugary sweet as she hugged me awkwardly. Yeah, me too. I really missed being around my dear sister. I tried so hard to keep a straight face as Bianca fake smiled at me. With such poor acting skills, no wonder she hadn't been cast in a single movie yet. It's, nice to see you both too. What brings you here? Well, we ran into some really bad luck. We ended up losing everything we had. What? How? Mom told me they'd paid a huge amount of money to a casting agent who promised Bianca her big Hollywood break, but the person turned out to be a fraud and ran away with all their savings. I wanted to scream karma to their faces, but I was better than that. So, what do you want from me? Actually, we were hoping you could help us. Oh, so you're looking for jobs? Bianca looked a little confused, but Mom suddenly took my hand. Yes, honey, that's exactly what she meant. Bianca can be the face of your restaurant, and I can handle your finances. The three of us will take your business to new heights. I smiled. I knew what was going on inside Mom's head already. Of course, I can offer you jobs, but they're a little different from what you're expecting. What do you mean? I have 2 job openings at this new place I'm opening. One of a janitor and one of a dishwasher. Minimum wage, of course. Bianca's smile disappeared, and Mom clenched her teeth in anger. Amara, what you're doing is really humiliating. Mom, I can't believe you stole from me. It's not stealing, Amara. It's called family sacrifice. You'll understand when you're older. No, Mom, this isn't an insult. As you yourself once said, this is called a family sacrifice.
A family sacrifice.
A family sacrifice.
I hope you'll understand when you're older. I swear the silence that followed was the sweetest thing I've ever tasted.